Okay.
All right.
Excellent.
Let's go.
My hair is fairly normal, and I'm almost centered. How are you guys? Good. If you could let Paul know that you can hear me okay. Were these lights all over the place? Because they had been kicked around? Or did you just turn them on wherever they were landing today? These lights had been moved quite a lot.
This tape, I put them exactly where they go.
Oh, okay, good. All right, so we have a couple people tuning in. We're going to give this a second for a few more people to tune in. If you guys could let Paul know whether or not you can hear me all right, that'll help. Excellent.
Bernadette,
Thank you so
yes,
much.
Yes. Welcome, Bernadette.
Hi, Bernadette. Is that the Bernadette?
That's the Bernadette.
Thank you for your donations. You're so sweet, very thoughtful. We do appreciate it. I do want to talk to you guys about a couple upcoming events and classes while we wait for people to tune in. So we have the next Ask Ivy show that's going on here tonight. That's going to be Monday, August 31st at 9 p.m. I normally do them every Monday. However, next week I have a work trip out of town. So we're going to have to skip. I will, however, be putting up your weekly horoscopes. Your weekly horoscopes for this week have already begun to be posted. I believe we did Aries through what? Virgo. Okay. So Aries through Virgo. Your horoscopes for this week are already up. I'm finishing the rest of them up tonight, and we will probably be posting them at about 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So check it out. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so and click that bell. That will give you an alert if I go live for a free show, or if I'm doing a free mini class, or if your horoscope went up, whatever it is. We have coming up part of the quarantine series free mini class with Q&A that I've been putting on, one per week. We have coming up, let's see, what is your gut telling you? That's going to be Thursday, September 3rd at 9 p.m. Eastern. Will, of course, be published after if you can't make it. What is your gut telling you? This is going to break down the difference between synchronicities, deja vus, and your gut intuition. Most people will say, if it's powerful, if there's a lot of it, like you see a lot of patterns or synchronicities, if it's a deja vu, then it's good and it's telling you to go in that direction. That is not always the case. Okay. So we tend to believe, because people don't understand the language of mediumship, we tend to just buy into anything as being good. No. So we need to figure out whether or not this is a warning. This is telling you to readjust. This is asking you to learn lessons there. This is telling you to do some research, or if it is in fact a go ahead in a certain direction. We also have coming up Our Fear of Dying. Thursday, September 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Will go up after, will be published if you can't attend. I'll be taking your questions, but I also posted on social media yesterday, what is it that you're most afraid of in regards to passing away? We're going to be addressing everyone's fears on that class. Empaths and the pandemic. Why is it that empaths are having a very different experience with this pandemic than a lot of other people? That's going to be Thursday, September 17th. All right, and there are a million more, but I'm getting bored with this. Do we have questions coming in? Okay, so here's what I need you guys to do. Start posting your questions here for Paul. Include a name of anyone that you're referring to, living or deceased. And that can include your animals. Now, if you are asking about a job, but you don't feel comfortable putting the full name of the company that you work for, at least put the initials there. So if you're saying, I don't know if I should transition from this place to this place, I need initials to know what I'm looking at, because I try to answer these in about 3 minutes or less. Okay, so we need to speed it up. For the sake of efficiency, just post names for Paul. Okay, so I think we're going to go. Oh, I did want to make one more announcement here. We do have a class coming up called Law of Attraction and Manifestation, Wednesday, August 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern. That will go up as a video download afterwards, so check it out. To register, you go to ivyriverapsychicmedium.com. That is in the link above. And Psychic Mediumship course begins October 7th. We are limited on seating, even though it's going to be virtual, for Pathway 2, which is a lot more interaction with the teachers and myself. So if this is something that you were thinking you need to do, you want to learn the language of mediumship, psychic ability, and empathic ability, you're going to want to register for that soon. If you're taking Pathway 1, it's unlimited. That's okay. All right. Paul, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I did adult things today.
Adulting.
Yes.
Paul got real shoes.
And luggage.
And luggage. And a haircut. All kinds of real things happening for a real boy.
Yeah, it happens.
It's amazing.
I had to admit it. But other than that, very good.
Other than that torture.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Hoping everyone's doing well. Go ahead and give my announcement, then we'll start taking questions.
Yeah.
All right. So welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium and a Taino Arawak. I own a school called the Ivy League Psychic Academy, where I train people in psychic mediumship development, tarot, Reiki, astrology, you name it, we do it. It's an international school, 100% virtual at this point, so check it out, ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. And up here on YouTube, we're doing a free show once a week. This show, Ask Ivy, where I take your personal or spiritual questions. Your weekly horoscopes go up, and I also do free mini classes on this channel. I do appreciate your likes, your shares, your subscriptions, and click that bell to get alerts when we go live. All right. I think we're ready to start. Paul, what do you have?
Okay, we have one from Bernadette.
Okay.
Said, I had a pretty devastating breakup about 3 hours ago. I can't understand it, and it was with Chuck.
Chuck?
Yes.
You know, Chuck to me seems a bit, how do I want to say this? There seems to be some manipulation going on here, and I don't throw the word narcissistic around lightly, but when I see someone who's not good at handling any kind of a feeling of rejection, or someone who doesn't know how to be on the losing end of things, they have to always be in control. They have to always be the favorite. They have to always be in power. They have to feel needed. They have to feel wanted. They're needy. You know, if we have this energy coming from someone, whether technically we would categorize this as narcissism or not, to me, energetically, it just groups in the same ballpark. And what that looks like in this case is that you maybe weren't willing enough to chase after him. You would be, if we were looking at narcissism and we were Googling this, we would be talking about the highest bidder. And I think that one of the things he does is he likes to make sure that he's stringing people along. And if you're not that highest bidder vying for his attention, he would go on to someone else who will appear to give him that type of attention. In this particular case, I can tell you no one else is trying to, step up into that position. So he's going to get a run for his money with you. I don't think that you're willing to come down to that level. And I think that that's really irritating him. And I think that you're seeing some truth about this person's character. And I think that one of the things he may use is an emotional manipulation technique that a lot of narcissists use, where they pull back, giving you any kind of attention, or they ghost you, or they sort of punish you emotionally by walling you out and detaching from you in some way. I also feel that he has a childish tendency to turn things around and make it seem like it's your fault. But then you can't engage in any kind of dialogue about that, because he would see it as straight up an argument and would pull away and refuse to engage, again, because he doesn't like to lose. and he knows it's not the right thing to do. There's a lot going on here, not much of it looking healthy. It doesn't really look like you're dealing with another adult. It looks like this person needs therapy and like they need to work on the techniques that they use to manipulate others to get what they need. That's what he looks like to me. Someone who is going to require some self-work and possibly clinical kind of help. And I think, too, that you should watch for a technique that a lot of narcissists use called hoovering, where they will, push you away and then try to suck you back in. And I think that that would come at a time when you maybe thought it was really over. And then all of a sudden you're kind of getting abandoned again and kicked when you're down. Okay, so the hoovering technique is a back and forth attempt to keep you around, keep you on a line, and pull you back in to this patterned behavior. This person needs to do a lot of work. Okay, I think what you did was you were Bernadette, and I think you stood your ground. And when you don't feed a narcissist, they don't know what to do. So it's like they're having a temper tantrum. But with this person, it's a little bit more subliminal. It's definitely covert, which is trickier, and it's definitely emotional abuse against you. Okay? Mm-hmm. There is someone else right around the corner. So I feel like run for the hills. I feel like, free up that space. That's always so funny to see happen to one of them.
Yeah, she says narcissism is a real problem for many to deal with. Sorry for others who have to manage it. Lots going on. Hoovering. Happened twice. Thank you. You're the best.
You're welcome. Absolutely. That's exactly it.
And that came in before the someone around the corner line. So
yeah, but there is someone right around the corner, yes. And I get goosebumps when I think about it. And I basically think this person's going to be replaced in a heartbeat, and 10 times better. A real adult. Imagine that.
AJ said, "Ooh, yes, Bernadette."
Yes, Bernadette. Yes.
Which is good timing on AJ's part because I was going to ask her question next.
Okay.
So AJ says, I have 2 love interests.
Okay.
IS and DR who have expressed feelings for me. I am conflicted. May I get some insight on them? Is there one I should pursue over the other?
I'm hearing that neither are necessarily the right fit for you long term. However, DR holds a lot of sort of a deeper energy. I'm assuming these are both males. I don't know where I got that idea. So they may both carry masculine energy, whatever we're talking about. But DR to me feels like he carries a deeper, more sensitive energy. And when we're looking at sensitivity, we want to see someone who isn't just emotional themselves and sensitive about their own life. We want to see someone who has a nice sensitivity that also involves empathic awareness of others. And I feel that with this person. So I think that one of the things that would be nice for the two of you is to be able to give and receive healing from each other, mentally, emotionally, verbally, even physically. I feel like when you're around this person, you feel better. Sometimes when you get around someone who has a lot of healing ability, and he does also have a lot of empathic ability, this healing energy radiates off of them, and like headaches will disappear and tension in your body will disappear. It's pretty amazing, really. And so he's kind of electrified, with this level, I'd say about 3 empathic ability. And it's nice. I do also feel that there is a bit of a contract here between the two of you where you could get involved in this life and help each other to grow and be motivated to level up. And I feel like I'm talking about your career, your money, and your life contracts. So that definitely has an interesting component to it, because often when we see 2 people coming together and there is a work contract, we're looking at things like soulmate connection. We're looking at the possibility of real growth that is going to carry on into future lives. And you do push each other in that way, but you would have to keep this relationship uncluttered, clean, and drama free. Okay. And so that's really where the trickery comes in here. And that's where we see possibly some underdevelopment here in this relationship, in particular with him, that could lead to some issues. Okay. Make sure if you have any trust issues too, you're really getting rid of that. The other one, fun energy. There's some nice exchange there, but it feels more fleeting. So I don't know that I would say you can't do either one or that you have to choose one or the other, but those are the energies they bring in. Interesting times.
Very good.
Have fun.
Okay, we have one from Bonnie.
Okay.
It says, I recently lost my sister and then my son. Are they sending messages for me? Any messages for me? Connie and Jason.
Wow. So Jason comes around quite a lot. And when he comes in, it's unmistakable. So he has this kind of bold energy about him that may feel almost like a warmth or a tingling, or a lot of people say, that they got goosebumps. You would feel him physically come in. That's called clairsentience. And he uses that with you because you have that ability. He has that ability. So that's really nice. I also see him leaning in and whispering to you. He said at you, which can mean that maybe you're not always understanding what he's saying, or you're not hearing him, or you're not always responding to it. But he said she's a little bit of a slow go. So I feel almost like it takes you a while, and then you realize you heard from him. It's like it clicks. And I think you're even piecing together why he's coming, not just to always give love and give you some attention and let you know he's doing well and to check up, make sure you're doing well. But sometimes there's really messaging here, mostly having to do with keeping your strength up, your energy up, your vibrancy up. And he says, understand, and he takes your sister's hand, so they're collectively giving this message, that you have important work here to do. And you know that, and you have to just keep going. There's so much more for you to do here. They want to see you finish everything. They want to help you with everything that you need. But your sister says, she said, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. It's almost like we're not even going to talk about it. No. And I don't know if there's another male that you're watching over, or if this is you just worrying over your son, but she shows you worrying over male energy and watching over other people's situations. And she said, not everything is for you to carry. Not everything is a burden for you. Okay. So really try to compartmentalize what belongs to you, what belongs to others. All right. Boundaries. And she just wants you to know that they're celebrating. Okay.
Okay. Very good. AJ said, thank you so much. A little, one of these
You're welcome.
Happiness emojis.
It's interesting.
Okay. We have one from Staniquia.
Okay.
It says, can you tell me what you see from my love life and my current dating situation? Which she's single. She was dating someone, but he didn't want a relationship.
Yeah, that was not it. Staniquia. So what I'm getting when I go over here with your energy is a lot of sensitivity with you, an ability to give to others, and an ability to teach. So you may do well in communications and things like this. You may also find that you're always being pulled into careers, that steer you that way, and you have a lot of prosperity there. I think that what's important to remember as I talk to your work guide over here, or rather your relationship guide, is that there's a time to be that person, and there's a time to pull back and be someone else. And I feel that the passion that you give, possibly in work or in different areas of your life, should not be the same as the ones that you give in dating. And so we want to understand that pieces of your personality and your character that make you successful in some arenas or with some people should not necessarily have that effect here with dating. As far as dating is concerned for you for a while, my sense is that you need to pull back. And I feel that you need to be more, I'm hearing analytical. I'm also feeling that you should be a little bit more almost critical of how much they give back and when they're willing to give back. There seems to be an imbalance here, so that it's quite possible that you want to keep things comfortable, you want to keep things light. So you keep putting on rose-colored glasses or overlooking red flags, and you keep the flow of attention and conversation going, when in actuality, if you were analyzing the person's behavior more, you would have caught that they really didn't care about something you said, or they didn't respond in a timely manner, or they really didn't do a follow-up, or they really seem to be inconsistent with what they're saying. And you would have caught that a lot sooner. So at this point, what they want to talk to you about in your dating life is speed and being a little bit more cutthroat. I think that also has a lot to do with raising your standards so that you know immediately going in how you expect someone to behave, how much reciprocity you want to see, even in the fine details of conversation. Are they answering you? Are they really listening? Are they ever touching base? Or do they only seem to interact when they want to get something back? Which is a sign that it's not going to have any long-term value. And I think once you learn this, then we're really able to bring in the person that's right for you. And while that does seem to be fairly close in, I would say within a few months, this is going to have to be learned once and for all. Okay, first. So let's focus on that for a minute. Yeah.
Very good. Yep, Bonnie said thank you.
You're welcome.
And all right, let's go forward. We have one from Gloria. Says, I would love to know if my spirits are guiding me to this traditional medicine path and if I will move after I finish my training here.
Okay, so let's get that door open because it's getting hot in here again, or that fan going, or something has to happen. Okay, so Gloria wants to know if she is on the right path with her, what is it?
Traditional medicine.
Traditional medicine, or if what?
Will she move after she finishes training here?
Well, that sounds like two totally different questions,
ones,
so I'll just pick whatever. So Gloria, are you right to be in with traditional medicine? To an extent, however, here come the bugs because we opened the door. Now I'm going to get attacked. Maybe the fan's better. Here's what I'm feeling with this. This can only go so far. So, do I think that you're on the right path? I think that your understanding of the healing arts is good for you and good for you in achieving your life contract work. However, it is not going to allow you to branch off into all of the areas that you're going to be expected throughout your life contract to work. So at some point here, and I would say that this could be possibly even like 13 years out, but at some point you're going to start to shift. Or we could say that the universe is going to be encouraging you to shift. So I think go forward, yes, but when it's time to move about with this, be fluid and willing to do that and use this as a foundation, not the end all be all. Okay. But yes, everything for you will be involved in that field.
All right. Taino, who is coming out of a situationship. I've never heard that term before. I like that.
It's not good.
Can you tell me what's coming up for my love life?
Okay. So not involving that person.
Right.
Okay. So what is coming up for you, Taino, in general? Let's see what's going on with love. I feel somebody coming in who seems sort of light and airy and bouncy and friendly and silly, and you being like, And it seems then like someone else comes in and they're kind of serious and a little more grown up and sort of stoic, and you're like, ooh, but then they don't really give. And I think that you're in a place where you need to figure out what it is that you really want, because, if you are attracted to people who hold back or are emotionally unavailable or literally unavailable in every way, if you're attracted to that, then you really don't want a relationship right now. That's the truth. And a lot of people out there get confused about that one. And they say, well, I just don't know what I want, or it just doesn't ever work out for me. But if you're always choosing people who can never turn a dating situation into an actual relationship, you're the one common denominator there. You're the one factor that is always pulled toward that. And the natural conclusion is that maybe you're not ready yet. And that's okay. So I think there needs to be a little bit more honesty about what it is exactly that you want. People that seem to bring in a lighter energy, I almost get the sense that they're not challenging enough for you. And those would be the ones that could be converted into something long-term. And you're like, that's just not enough of a chance, because that's not it yet. That's not what you're looking for yet. So right now, this is a great period of time for you to ask the real questions about why it is that you choose what you do, what it is that you actually want, and if there's any battle within yourself about whether or not you want a long-term relationship or to lock something down right now, be completely willing and honest to work with that and say, you know what, I'm going to have to just keep it light for another 5 years or so until I'm really feeling this. I do think that you're also figuring out a lot about where you want to be, and that may have to do with career and residency. And I think that once some of that stuff also gets worked out and you're really, really where you feel comfortable, you will be meeting someone. And I don't know that you're going to be, 100% ready for it even at that time. But sometimes when it shows up, you just know.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Very good. Very good. It's very love heavy tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We have one from Lisa who asks, any new love interests coming soon?
Another love.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this person's last name?
Starts with an L.
Lisa L. Any new love interest? I'm feeling somebody coming in who seems to be working on their education or training, or they're around a lot of books. This could also be someone who does a lot of research. And when this person comes in, I feel that they're taking a rather hands-on approach with you. They're being a little bit assertive about doing it. There's a confidence level there that I think is attractive. So you're going to find it attractive. This person wants to get to know you, wants to get to know the way you think, why you do the things you do, finds you fascinating. This is not someone who's coming in just to sort of sweep you off your feet and it's a flash in the pan, kind of moment. This does have the potential for longevity, but it is also really about how ready you are. So it feels to me that as this person approaches you, you're a little shaky on how you feel about it. And this could be due to other circumstances in your life where you're like, I'm not really sure I'm completely, ready for this. Yet you seem to be out there enough and you seem to be open enough that you were able to attract it and call it in. So that's the next relationship that I see you're supposed to explore. Is it the end all be all for you? I'm not so sure that it is. But we can't level jump. I always tell my clients this. You cannot skip it. My clients will say, that's it, I'm done, I'm not dating. I'm not dating until it's the one. And then every time they reach out to me, they're like, is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one? It's like, you can't do that. You can't skip over all these other people you're supposed to be learning and growing with and you have contracts with. And this may be one of those people that you don't decide to turn into a marriage type of relationship, but nonetheless, there's some really important stuff going on here with this person, what they bring to your life, how they help you to see yourself. And I think that this person is going to define for you what it is that you really want. And that's going to have a lot to do with you wanting to feel better about who you are.
Okay. Very awesome.
There's also oddly talk of aliens. I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't even know. There's some talk of aliens. So I don't know if other people refer to this individual as like seeming like an alien, or you would be saying, what are you, from another planet? Are you like an alien, or he's obsessed with aliens? There's something weird. There's something a little different, a little out of this world. But it's masked, for sure. Okay. I think it's good. I think it's interesting.
Bernadette says that what's weird in a good way is that advice, ideas you're giving to others actually make sense to me as well.
Well, I think it's interesting tonight. I'm feeling this a lot. I almost feel like I'm doing a collective reading on everyone, So like different spirit guides are stepping in and saying, say this for her, say this for him, say this for whoever. But I am noticing that there's sort of a general theme here. So it may be that everyone is kind of in a place where they all need to be hearing this right now, because while this is not a gallery reading, obviously, it does seem like there's some group messaging happening. So that's good. Yeah, listen and eavesdrop on each other tonight for sure. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Always. I think a lot of it too is if it comes for someone else and you hear it, it's easy to take the advice because it's not directed right at you.
Yeah, when you're in it, you're so far out at sea, you can't tell. But when you listen to someone else's, you're like, oh yeah. I would also say this. We have 2 classes up that concentrate on love, and that's relationships, boundaries, and cord cutting class, and reaching the one. So check those out on the website. That'll help you to get ready for the right person.
Awesome.
That's funny she noticed that, though, because I was just thinking that, Bernadette. Like, okay.
We're going to get Bernadette in for classes.
I know.
Yeah. We have one from Cherie who asks, Are there any messages from my mother, Denise?
She's very sweet. I think she could have some fire about her, I think she could have some bite about her. She's very sweet with you right now and makes me feel very much like there's something either you're not saying or you're not really being heard. She's mentioning a closed throat chakra. And that can also mean that she's trying to talk and communicate with you, and it isn't always getting through. So take it however you understand it. She's been visiting you in some dreams, and she's been trying to bring you some comfort. I see you being downtrodden, and she's saying distracted, and I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but almost like a heavy sort of depressive energy sometimes. And I'm almost wondering, I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but I'm almost wondering if there's something going on physically that is also draining, your energy. And she comes and she's trying to uplift you. I feel like I see you sitting on a couch, and then sometimes this is more in bed, which is probably why she's using the dreams. She wants you to know that where your life is going soon here, and I'm feeling like 3 weeks, 3 months, you're going to need some new shoes. And so she's talking about some new comfortable shoes. And they looked sort of like gym shoes and like rubber bottoms, something you would have to tie. And she said, I'm right behind you and I'm helping you pick them out. This is all symbolic of where you're headed. And this to me feels like a new path. And it feels like it is going to require you to have these so-called new shoes, which is you using different parts of your personality, your wisdom, your knowledge, preparing you for this journey. And I feel good about all of that. Things that have not been working are about to change. And she said, make sure that when things change, you let go of what needs to be let go of, what no longer serves. Okay? Let go. And she keeps touching your hair. So I don't know if you just changed your hair or if you're just going to do something different with your hair. But she keeps fluffing. She keeps fluffing the top of your hair. She just wants you to know that she loves you. And keep talking to her. Because there's definitely something with this closed throat chakra where either the communication has been a bit of a miss, and or you're feeling that in your life also. Misses in communication. Okay.
Very cool. Lisa said thank you for her message about her love life.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we have one here from Shalon, who asks, what are KJ's intentions towards me?
Well, when I go over here with this person's energy, I feel like there's a playfulness and there's a desire to kind of rope you in and get you to be around. But then it also feels very selfish. So it's very possible that this person enjoys your company, but isn't really thinking in terms of how he can give back to you. So when we have that going on, it's really one-sided, and it can get confusing in this situation because sometimes you have to almost invest in someone, or you have to invest in a situation before it is the type of relationship that is deserving of a whole lot of give and take. So I could see how we might say, well, maybe I just need to like give more, or maybe I'm not being open enough, or maybe I'm not being clear enough about what it is that I want and how I feel. But I really do feel that this person is potentially never going to be interested in that manner. So I would say be limiting on what you give and be realistic about what you expect. I think if you were to talk to your higher mind and go with your gut instinct, you would say, this is a pretty limited situation. It can be great in its own ways, and it can be dynamic and powerful, which can really suck you in, but it is also unavailable.
Very good. Excuse me. Cherie said that she's been seeing a lot of dragonflies lately. She's also been having trouble breathing sometimes. And thank you, Ivy! Exclamation points. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
All right. We have one from Linda, who says she's 42 and dealing with issues stemming from child sexual abuse. She's been working on healing for a decade. And do you see her working with people in the healing field? As a side note, she currently has a healing business, but it's not really going so well, and is not sure if that's her path. Reiki, hypnosis, life coaching.
Well, I mean, that's all really, not to sound like Debbie Downer, but that's all really generic stuff. They're a dime a dozen. And these are great tools to learn. It's a great way to get in touch with the energy through things like Reiki training, but a lot of people don't understand that when it's everywhere, it's available all over the place, it isn't really going to sustain, the entire business. And it sounds like the other things that are being offered are sort of in the ballpark of that concept where they're available everywhere. Okay, so we want to remember that when we look at our life contract, meaning what we signed on to do before we came to Earth, and you can book a reading with me for that at any time, we want to look specifically at what your calling is and not put a generic label on it. I'm a Reiki practitioner, I'm a spiritual life coach, I'm a da-da-da-da-da, and everyone else is doing the same thing because people aren't really within their contract. Spirit, yourself, your higher mind, they're not going to call you into 50,000 different areas. You're going to have a specified calling, no doubt about it. And it should never be a generic light working type of a title. It's going to be something that you're on fire for. It's going to be something that automatically accrues interest in. You have a ministry. People come. People search you out for it. You should not have to chase it. When I see people in light work and they're chasing it all the time, I just know they're out of whack with their life contract. They're not called to do that thing. At least not to this extent. So while I feel that for you, 100%, I do feel that you're supposed to be working in the healing arts. I really feel that it has a lot more to do, looking at your life contract briefly in the second we have here, I think it actually has a lot more to do with almost a clinical approach. And we would be looking at like sociology, psychology, the way that people handle trauma, childhood trauma from, it looks like alcoholic parents, abusive situations, sexual abuse, physical abuse, what this really does to the brain. And I think that you have a lot of medical intuitive abilities. And I think that that's why you've been pulled into some of those areas, but we're a little out of whack on this. And that's why you're not seeing fruition right now. So do I think so? Yes. Is it that? Is it what you're doing? No. And look at how many other people are doing it and not getting anywhere. A lot of people are treading water in that field. Here's another thing. You have to learn the language. Anyone who goes out to do light work, healing, medical intuitive, readings, shamanism of any variety, energy, where it doesn't matter what. Everybody needs to learn the language. That is at the foundation. That's not where you end up. It's where you should be starting. So check out the psychic mediumship course. Learn the language of empathic ability, medical intuitive, psychic mediumship, your own psychic abilities. What is going on with this language? And that makes it easier for you to know when you're being led towards something and when you're being told this isn't exactly it. In addition to being able to do the work effectively. Yes. So you may not even want to hear it, but what you went through is going to be the leading energy and factor in where you really have powerful turnout in your work.
Very good. Shalon says, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Hot and hot eye emoji.
Beautiful.
Lots of love there.
You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah, we have one. I'm hopefully not butchering the name.
Okay.
It's like Lenora, Ljonora. Lenora. Will I have a baby in the next 5 years?
You could. You could have two. I don't think I'm looking at a set of twins, but it's possible we're looking at a set of twins. So whenever I see a set of twins, we are talking about them being in debate as to whether or not they will come through as a unit, or they can make a liar out of me. They can change up their life contract really at any time up until like pretty far into the pregnancy. So we could see them come through as individuals. But there is talk of a set of twins here. So you're either going to end up with, this is if you choose to bring them through, of course, you have free will, but possibly two, possibly three. Okay, so we have one coming in at the 2-year mark and another potential pregnancy at the 5-year mark. So it's really up to what you do. I would also say this. There is a very chatty little boy who is interested in coming in at the 2-year mark. And he can make a liar out of me too. He could switch orders with his siblings here. But I feel old soul energy with this one. And so I would wonder if at any time there was a pregnancy lost or a child sent back. And this one is very effective in taking care of oneself, like a little old man in a baby suit. It's funny to watch. And a little bit of a know-it-all, a little dictating to everybody. I'll tell you how it is. And you're like, really? I'm your mother. It's like, no. It's never going to be bought. This one has an agenda with the old soul kids. You really can't tell them anything. So I think it's an adorable relationship and bond. And it also looks like a lot of fun. But he's definitely in a world of his own. So that would be the earliest one. Yeah.
That's awesome. And apparently I pronounced the name correctly. Oh.
Polly,
yeah,
you're adulting in all kinds of ways today.
Okay, we have one from Morbid Alfie. It's just kind of a general message. In the coming months, does anything stick out that I should pay attention to?
Morbid Alfie, does anything stick out that you should pay attention to? There's some type of a conversation. First of all, work stuff comes up twice. So I'm talking about work. I'm talking about, your career or your finances. Okay. Your resources in some way. So that does come up twice as being of transition. But I was going to say that if I were to watch out for one thing and develop one of these messages more, it would be an interesting little dialogue that I see going on that you aren't aware of, where someone in your circle is talking an awful lot and trying to manipulate a situation to go more in their favor. And they remind me of a shit stirrer. They remind me of a pot stirrer. Pardon my French. They remind me of a pot stirrer who is looking to either take something that is really yours or to diminish how you present to others, or is just doing it because I think some people have no life and some people just don't know how to stop. I call them vampires, right? They feed off of that kind of negativity and energy. And I think that you, on the other hand, are really bringing in a lot of positivity, and you may have sort of an attitude in life that, like, you're never looking to start trouble. So you don't really think that way. And I would say that this is possible, that part of your character and personality, that sort of sweetness, right? That innocence, that non-troublemaking part of you is what attracts this person and makes them think that they can pull this off. And I see a third party being involved. So there's an outsider who may be sort of the target. Okay, this one wants to pass this information along to this other person. And it could very well kind of blow up in this person's face or fall apart. And I just feel that you need to keep an eye on your circle. You know, for people who don't seem to be very authentic, here's a good thing that I do with everybody. You know, when I'm around people, or even if I'm getting on social media, I have to deal with a group or whatever, I just sort of pull my energy back and I sort of analyze where everybody is. And if I get a ding, 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 this person is up to no good, they have an agenda, or their energy does not match their words or their actions, I keep an eye on that one. And later on, I go back and I find out what it is that they're up to psychically. Okay. And then you can prepare.
Cool.
Everything looks good, though. It's just like a fly swatter. Yeah.
Linda said, thank you very much.
Okay.
You mentioned clinical psychology work,
yes.
And she has a BA in psychology. And she feels in her soul you're absolutely correct in everything you said. And Lenora said, awesome, thank you.
You guys are welcome. Thank you.
All right. And we have one from Natasia.
Okay.
It says, I would like to know if the person I'm interested in is the one, and his name is Corey.
No. Not in terms of there being a one. There is, no such thing as the one. We have a handful of soulmate options over the course of our lives, and we want to pick one of those soulmate options that are going to function in the day-to-day. And Corey is not ready to function in a day-to-day relationship with you. It would take a lot of motivation for him to be able to do that with someone else, and it may take someone else being willing to pull the majority of the weight. And so there are things going on within yourself and what you really want out of a relationship that involve a lot of caretaking. They involve you receiving a lot of awareness from the other person. So you're going to do best when you're with someone who's really in tuned to you in many different ways, on many different levels, and can telepathically read you, can energetically feel you, can come and help out in that way. And this relationship is going to have some areas where there's a high level of detachment that could also read as this individual not caring. Okay, and it may not be something you see in the beginning. This could take a while. It's almost like the charm wears off a bit, and so that could be tricky. What I think we really have here, while there's a lot of attraction, this feels dated to me. And when I see a timestamp on something, it can mean that there was a contract there, and sometimes the contract just is due. It's up. Okay, a lot of relationships are like that. People just don't want to let them, go when it's time. But I see some personality conflicts here. So I think if we were to look at the astrology, we may find that there are some, my astrologer here at the Academy, Christine Del Rey, she calls them blocks. There would be some tension points that are significant enough to say these two people just don't match. And I think that while you should learn from it and get everything out of it, that is pleasurable, if it gets to a point where it gets hard and you're starting to feel like you're questioning your own self or your happiness, your joy, your energy is depleting, your self-esteem is depleting, you're feeling like you're reaching or pulling or you're over-guiding the relationship, that's when it's time to hit the road on this one. Okay?
Okay, so Morbid Alfie said, thank you so much. I had to bring in my circle in the past year. The shit stirrer at work is trying to bring me down. She's a huge downer.
That's funny because I think work came up with him twice. Yeah. Interesting. Well, so you know. Patterned people, man, you know, people who don't want to grow and evolve and they just got nothing else to do. I think we all need to take a lesson from, you know, Alfie's reading here today, is that there are some people who are out there, a lot of people who are out there that are just energy vampires. The only reason they go out every day or socialize with anyone is to upset them and to take, almost like Monsters, Inc. If you ever watched that movie on Disney, it's pretty accurate, right? So the monsters ate the energy off of the children that they could instill fear in, you know, and create these nightmares. Well, that's a lot of food. That's a food source of energy. And humans are no different. Humans are energy, and they will take from those that are filled with the light. And it's unfortunate, but, you know, we have to cut them off, set proper boundaries with them as much as possible, and decide to, you know, block them out, conserve your energy, keep it to yourself. Give them nothing. Do not feed it. They'll never stop. They have no interest in growth or well-being whatsoever. So, interesting. All right, you guys. It was such a pleasure working with you tonight. I see there's a lot of love stuff going on, so do check out those 2 classes, Reaching the One and Relationships, Boundaries, and Cord Cutting. If there's a love or a bad habit in your life, it could even be sugar addiction or trauma from the past. Check out Relationships, Boundaries, and Cord Cutting to clear that out. Use forgiveness and release your energy into a higher vibration. Half your horoscopes are up. The rest are going up tomorrow afternoon. Thank you for that, Polly.
You're very welcome.
And I will see you guys not next week for this, but what is it, August 31st? August 31st, I will see you back here for Ask Ivy. Thank you, Paul.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, everybody.